Muhammad did face opposition in Mecca, yet he never called for violence. In Surahs 22 and 25, Muhammad called for two types of jihad. The first was a jihad against unbelievers to bring them near to God. This jihad was through living a righteous Muslim lifestyle. The second was the jihad of the Qur'an, which was teaching others the revelations of the Qur'an. Muhammad stressed that the true jihad was a struggle to live a righteous lifestyle in order to show believers Allah's grace. Muhammad continued to preach jihad after his community followed him to the city of Mecca. Having renounced all clan ties, his early followers practiced jihad by becoming members of the universal community of believers. They now struggle together, practice jihad, to live the best they could, live a lifestyle of righteousness based upon their common belief in one God, a God who demanded social justice. In Medina, the early community was threatened with its survival. It was at this time that Muhammad received a series of revelations that are frequently misunderstood that authorized Muslims to fight. Muhammad is a unique figure in religious history because he achieved success during his lifetime as a religious leader, a political leader, and a military leader. He united the entire Arabian Peninsula under Islam. Although there was some fighting in the early history of Islam, it is wrong to say that Islam was a violent religion from its beginning. The Qur'an speaks about armed struggle largely in order to avoid it. Because there are so many people interested in understanding armed struggle, I would like to take a few moments to look at warfare in Islam, hopefully in order to clarify some common misconceptions. The Qur'an, the early biographies about Muhammad, and the early historical accounts agree that many of the early Muslims did not want to fight. Some did not want to fight members of their own clans. Others were not committed to the movement, found it too difficult to be a Muslim. There are certain circumstances under which jihad can mean armed struggle. Islam developed a theory of warfare that is in many respects similar to the Christian doctrine of a just war. Both Christianity and Judaism throughout its history have used religion to justify warfare. Both continue to do so to the present day. This must be kept in mind when discussing Islam, since it is a point that is all too often overlooked. Like Judaism and Christianity, Islam is regarded as a peaceful religion that wants to avoid war. The religion of Islam, however, created a new type of warfare that was unheard of in the ancient Middle East prior to the time of Muhammad. The Qur'an recognizes that there will be wars, yet the Qur'an seeks to place limitations upon violence as a means to end violence and to seek a lasting peace. It limits wars, and when war breaks out, it seeks to end violence as quickly as possible and to bring about conditions that ensure a lasting peace. Islam has always regarded the true jihad as a struggle to be a righteous person. Surah 22, verse 78 encourages believers to strive hard with Allah for due striving. According to one tradition, Muhammad once said that the Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca, to worship the one God with other believers, is the greatest of all jihads. Jihad is simply the obligation incumbent on all Muslims to exert themselves to realize God's will, to lead virtuous lives, and to extend the Islamic community through preaching and education. Warfare only comes in play for purposes of self-defense and only under certain following conditions, which are primarily spelled out in Surah 2, the cow, as well as many other places in the Quran. First, Surah 2, verse 190. Fight for the sake of God against those who fight against you, but do not attack them first. God does not love aggressors. Verse 37, permission to take up arms is given to those who are attacked because they have been wronged. Do not destroy churches and synagogues. Islam is unique among the religions of the world because it requires soldiers in a just war to respect the religious shrines of other religions, in this case, Judaism and Christianity. Surah 2, verse 178 only permits fighting after an attack. Warfare has to be defensive. Surah 49, the Quran says that Muslims are to make peace between believers and that the righteous have a duty to protect the innocent from aggression. If a war is just, non-combatants cannot be attacked. If the enemy wants to make peace, you have to stop fighting and negotiate immediately. In 657 AD, there was a civil war within Islam between Ali and Muawiyah over the political leadership of Islam. When Ali's forces were about to win the battle, Muawiyah's men called for peace and arbitration according to the conditions of the Qur'an. The battle immediately ceased. This example shows how early Muslims viewed war. Peace was more important than fighting. Armed struggle in Islam is widely misunderstood. What may be surprising to many is that it was also misunderstood during Muhammad's own time. The Quran contains many passages, such as Surah 4, verse 95, in which Muhammad denounces many of his followers for refusing to fight a defensive warfare to protect the Ummah. The problem was that some Muslims were not willing to accept the concept of the Ummah, the universal community of all believers. This was very difficult. Helping a member of your own tribe, that was something everyone understood. But helping people who were not related through tribe, kinship ties, or treaties, the Ummah was something they could not quite comprehend. Many early Muslims did not see the need to help others. Muhammad taught that the real jihad was to struggle against evil and unbelief, become a member of a universal community of believers to bring righteousness upon the earth. Muhammad stressed that everyone was equal, irregardless of their clan or race.